And welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashlyn and I want to thank you for tuning in to another video. So in this video I want to talk about when you feel lost or like unsure what to do, where to go, who to trust, what do I do next and stuff like that. I feel like a lot of people, it's a lot of uncertainty going on right now, and that's because you don't know what the world is going to do. You may be at a job that you like and things may be going all right there and stuff like that, but ultimately you don't know what the world's going to do because there's so many changes that's going on left and right, and the news is always saying something. I personally don't watch the news, but you don't have to watch the news to hear things, through the grapevine, as they say. And so, what I've been finding and what I've been learning is that, the best thing to do is, I feel like we're moving into a time where you have to know how to listen to yourself. You got to learn how to tune into your inner voice, to your inner guidance, to your intuition, to your joy, to the things that you love, and to your authenticity. And I feel like that's the only way you're going to find your path. If you are, not sure where to go and what to do, you got to learn to build that relationship with self. And I know that can seem kind of crazy, where it seems like, that of course I have a relationship with myself, but I know there's been times where you might have, your intuition could be telling you not to go down a certain street, or you need to go straight instead of turning left, and you don't listen. And so you turn that way, and then you realize, wow, it was an accident right here. I should have listened to my first mind. I should have did this, or I should have did that. And that's your intuition speaking to you. That's your inner guidance telling you what's best for you and what's not. And so I think it's imperative right now for us to listen to that voice, because if you're not listening to that voice, then that voice it becomes kind of more small or harder to hear. And so that's what I mean by, building a relationship with yourself. And nobody knows what's best for you but you. So when you learn to follow what you know, because we are like, when you become an adult, you can't be a depending on everybody. You know what I'm saying? I think it's coming into a time where you can't depend on this one and depend on that one. If you were doing that, I'm not saying you are, but you gotta learn to rely on self and depend on self. And sometimes if you are used to depending on somebody else or something like that, you don't know how to depend on yourself. You don't know how to rely on yourself, and it's the simple small voice that's within you that tells you what you love, that tells you what you like, that tells you what you should be focused on. And you gotta learn to maintain what you may have already going on right now. So whether that is work, bills, or school, you gotta maintain those things, but also learn to build the relationship with self. Also learn to listen in to your intuition. Also learn to follow your inner guidance. Get in tune. There's this lady that I watch sometimes, and she says, get in tune with your star player. And your star player is your inner self. That's that inner voice within you that tells you what to do, tells you who you are. And no one outside of you can give you that answer, because that voice only speaks to you. That's the other beautiful part about it. It only speaks to you because it's here for you. It is you. So that voice only speaks to you, and it's only for you to hear it. So you gotta learn to tune into that voice, tune into the answer. Just like these birds that's chirping, if you heard that, they only speak to each other. I don't know what that bird said. I don't understand the language of that bird, but they understand the language of each other. And it's kind of that way when it comes to your inner self. I don't know that language. I don't know what your inner self is saying to you on a day-to-day, and what you feel nudged to do, what you feel called to do, what you feel led to do, what you feel like is your path, what you feel like you should be doing, what you know in your heart is best for you. I don't know that. Only you know that, because I don't understand the language. Actually, I can't even hear it because it's in your heart, it's in your mind, it's within you. Only you can hear that voice. And I feel like now is the time where you have to understand the importance of listening to that voice, the importance of following that all the way through, no matter how scary it is. Because that's another thing, when you begin to follow self, if you haven't been doing that, it's scary because it feels so, it's foreign and it feels unknown, and it don't, all your inner voice, you just know that you just feel, because some people are like, why'd you go this way? I don't know, I just felt that I should go this way, and then I'm here. You don't always know where, you don't get every, you can't ask every question and get every answer up front. Sometimes it's just, no, turn left. Or sometimes it's just, go to that class, go to that person, talk to this thing, go over here, do that. It's just that kind of stuff. Or sometimes it's just, you got to trust me. And then I think another thing is, the more you follow that voice, you build a relationship with that voice. The more you follow yourself, the more you follow your inner guidance, the more you follow your star player, the more you follow your intuition, you will learn to trust that more, learn to trust your voice. Because otherwise, there's so many people talking right now. There's so many things, people telling you what to do or whatever. And I mean, that's just kind of normal. You can turn on the TV and watch a commercial, and they're trying to get you to sign up for something or buy something or go here or go there and do this. And there's so much moving around. And how can you know what to do and what not to do if you don't know how to listen to yourself? How can you know what's good for you and what's not good for you if you don't know how to listen to yourself, if you've been ignoring that voice? And so, I'm not saying that I'm a person that was ignoring that voice. I don't now, especially because, but I can say that I could always work on improving the relationship with my inner self, because, maybe sometimes I don't listen, or sometimes I'm scared to go through with that. I'm like, that sounds right, but how do I know that's going to lead me to where I need to go? How do I know that I can trust that? How can I know I can trust this thing? And then another thing I wanted to mention is, it's like, when you feel lost and you're not sure, follow love. You got to follow love, joy, and, those things within you that's really saying, come this way. Because, yeah, that's the only way. Otherwise, you're going to be constantly unhappy, constantly confused, constantly lost, constantly unsure, constantly wasting a lot of time and wasting money and wasting things. Because I know in the past I've done that, where I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I would just sign up for things or just jump over here and like try this. And there's nothing wrong with trying things, I'm not saying that, but you got to understand, how can I know what I need? How can I know what's best for me? And how do you know that? Follow love, follow joy, follow your inner guidance, follow your intuition, because that is your inner compass. That is your inner compass. That's your inner GPS. You know how we turn on our GPS? That's your inner guidance system that's going to tell you where you need to go. Because you can't count on me, you can't count on your friend, all of these people to tell you where to go, because they don't know. They can, of course, guide you, but the best guidance is within yourself. And, I think I remember I was listening to this lady, and she was talking about how that's how she is with her kids. She tells her, like, one of her daughters is going off to school, and I think she's trying to figure out what she wanted to do with her life. And her mom said, I just tell her that she got to follow her heart. I want her to understand, to trust herself, and to follow herself and follow what is best for her, and not feel like she always has to come to me to give her the answer. Because that's adulthood. When you get to that point where you got to understand that, what, I cannot trust them. They don't know what's best for you. They did their part, but you got to follow your heart, because maybe you're meant to be a doctor, you're meant to be a teacher, and you're meant to do all of these things, but you got to know in your heart that's what's for you. And that's why I say follow love, follow joy, because whatever love and joy comes from a space of your heart. That it comes from your heart space. When you love something, when you have joy for something, that comes from your heart space. And so when you follow your heart space, it always leads you where you need to go. Because a lot of times when you go to your parents or whatever, you go to them because they love you, right? You want to speak to somebody who loves you because you feel like they're gonna tell you what's best, because why would they tell me anything different? Or you go to church or you pray and all of these things. You do that because you feel like, this higher power loves me. It would tell me what I should do. And what we don't realize sometimes is that higher power, it lives within you, and it's speaking to you all the time, and it's telling you all the time what to go, what to do, and what to follow. But sometimes we don't understand how to decipher that, and that's why I said follow love, because to me, God, the universe, source, is love. And if you follow love and you follow joy, I'm not talking about nothing fake, because it's not infatuation and it's not lust, it's love. What you love, what makes your heart sing, what you can do, what's something that you love to do, that you get lost in, and time no longer exists when you're doing it. Because there's sometimes I can do videos or stuff like this, and it's a whole hour that's gone by, and it feels like it's been 10 minutes. That's how you know you love that. That's your voice. That's your calling. That's your intuition. That's your guidance. Go this way. And I think you have to learn to listen to yourself more than anything right now, because there's so many different things and so many different people telling you what you should do, and it's so many fake news and all of this stuff going on. How do you know what to trust if you don't know how to trust yourself? How do you know where to go if you don't know how to trust yourself? Because people will lead you astray, maybe not on purpose, but sometimes you following somebody that ain't even in tune with their star player. They in tune with something else. And there's this, I'm almost done, but there's this song by Kanye West, which I've been listening to a lot lately, and it's Can't Tell Me Nothing. And then on one of the verses, he says, in one of the verses he says, how he move in a room full of no's, how he stay faithful in a room full of hoes, must be the Pharaoh, he in tune with his soul. Cause when he buried in a tomb full of gold, treasure, what's your pleasure? Life is depending how you dress her. So if the devil wear Prada, Adam, Eve wear nada, I'm in between but way more fresher, with way less effort. Cause when you try hard, it's when you die hard. So that's a whole verse, and it's a lot of things in that verse where when he says like how he moved in a room full of no's, how he stayed faithful in a room full of hoes, must be the Pharaoh, he in tune with his soul. You can't move in a room full of no's without being in tune with your soul. That's your inner guidance. You can't be faithful in a room full of hoes. Well, you could, but you get the song. Without being in tune and being in tune with who you are. Because the person that's in tune with who they are and they know where they're going and they understand their inner self, they're not going to do anything to deter them off of that. So that's why I think when he was saying, must be he in tune with his soul. And then another part when he says about how, so if the devil well proud of Adam, Eve, wear nada, I'm in between but way more fresher, with way less effort. Because when you try hard, that's when you die hard. Now, when you trying hard, you're not following your inner guidance, because you're going against yourself. You're going in the opposite way. Just like I said, when your intuition tells you to go a certain way and you go the different way, you just made it harder for yourself. Because you could have probably went this way and you would have gotten there faster. Just like the GPS, it's always rerouting you. It reroutes you to find the best way for you, because that's the inner guidance system. That's what your intuition does. That's what joy does. That's what love does. That's what you're being in tune with your soul, your star player does. And so you have to learn to cultivate the relationship with that, so that you can be in tune with your soul. And you can move in a room full of, you can be in tune, And so, and you don't have to try hard. You can just be doing what naturally feels right for you, doing what naturally feels good for you. And even if you don't see results right away, that doesn't mean that you give up, because who you are and what you do it so naturally. You do it so well that it's right for you. It's right for you. You know what I'm saying? That's just like a dog eating dog food. It's just right for them. That's just natural. Some things just are. And when you just follow what is, then life is a little bit easier because you are learning to trust your inner guidance, which is supposed to lead you anyway, which is there to guide you anyway, which is there to show you where you're supposed to go. But the key is only you can hear that voice. Only you know the message, the words, the guidance, because I can't feel that for you. Only you can feel that. Only you know that. And so, you know, being in tune with your soul, being in tune with who you are, that's what's going to get you through these times, I feel like, because there is so much unknown. There is so much uncertainty, even though the world is beautiful. Like where I'm sitting right now, it's an absolutely beautiful day. The birds are chirping. I don't know if it's picking up on the video. The wind is blowing a little bit. The sun is shining and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful day. But yet there's a lot of people still going through it, you know? And that's nothing new. It's just that I think that if it's really bothering you, tune into your soul, tune into your star player, tune into that voice, that inner compass, that inner guidance system. It's going to tell you, because that's the God in you. That is God, or, you know, source is leading you. That's what is talking to you. It bothers you and nudges you at night and all of these kind of things, because it's saying, hey, this is what we need to be doing, you know. So anyway, I don't want this video to be long. I hope you got something from this message, and I want to thank you so much for watching, and make sure you stay up and follow your inner guidance system and get in tune with your star player. And, you know, so many different ways to say it, but, you know, follow yourself. Peace.